It's Frank. Frank. Mr. Frank. I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
In your neighborhood, there's a place so good. It's so nice to be at a store meant for me. The feeling of family, you have to agree.
Wow, thanks, Fareway, Frank.
Welcome to Fareway, your Fareway family.
Spring has sprung in the great state of Iowa, and if you've been thinking about getting outdoors with your family during the best time of year, we want to help you here at Plaza RV. We are a locally owned RV dealer in Bondurant who cares about our customers before, during, and most importantly, after your purchase. Give us a chance. We will treat you like family. Buy local. Buy from Plaza RV.
Don't miss the biggest show of the summer, Kings of the West, starring Bone Thugs and Harmony, E40, Too Short, Mac 10, The Dog Pound, DJ Quick, Sugar Free, and Khadijah, live July 11th at Wells Fargo Arena. Don't miss Kings of the West with Bone Thugs and Harmony, E40, Too Short, DJ Quick, Mac 10, The Dog Pound, Sugar Free, and Khadijah. Get tickets now at HighVTix.com.
Two guys, two Chris's, one network. Iowa Everywhere. It's time for Two Guys with Chris Williams and Chris Hassel. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery from the Channel Seed Studios. Where? Everywhere. Live and always on demand at Iowa Everywhere.
What is up? Welcome to Two Guys here on Iowa Everywhere. It is Monday, the 19th of May. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Fareway Meat and Grocery. We come to you live this morning from the Channel Seed Studios.
Bigger, better, bolder.
Oh my God. This fucking guy.
Hey guys, good morning. It's a great morning here.
Before I even got to say a word, Van
Wait, I want to play the full.
Bigger, better, bolder. Built by Kelderman Manufacturing.
Yeah, it's a bigger, better Bowler Monday.
Did something happen over the weekend, Matt?
Well, somebody got
Jonathan's
paid.
in the chat. He says, you knew it was coming. You've been waiting months to do that.
Feels good. Feels good.
Why
we got
does
our
it feel
quarterback
good?
locked in?
Like, you're not getting any of that money. In fact, your team just gave all that money away against the cap.
Oh, boy, here we go.
No trade clause included. See that, too? He's not going anywhere.
No.
He's faithful to the Bay.
Oh.
All right.
Where's that that picture of homoerotic Jesus feeling up
Purdy
Brock's
Jesus
muscles as he signs the contract that you used
Had to
on
bless
Easter?
the group chat this weekend with a nice Purdy Jesus. So.
Well,
cool,
it's about
though.
time. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what took them so long. I know that there wasn't. They
what
weren't
took them
working
so
against
long?
the
This
clock
happened
or anything.
pretty quick. All things considered.
You knew it was going to happen. I think that they could have saved some money had they just done it earlier in the offseason or maybe even before that.
Sounds like the 49ers' initial offer to him was $49 million. And so...
And that son of a bitch talked him up?
Hell yeah, he did.
Oh, my God.
He's worth every penny.
No, he's not.
Let's
I
get
had a
into
lot
this
of-
debate. I think this is a really good debate, actually, and it's not. And Matt, you have to promise to take off the goggles here because this is a fascinating cap sports business debate, and Brock Purdy just happens to be smack dab in the middle of it. He's not the only one. I mean, I could make the same argument for a guy like Jalen Hurts. You know, there's a lot of people who are. But let's go. Let's duel it out. You too.
Well, it doesn't really the details of the contract really the cap doesn't really affect this year either. I think only like $8.5 million of the cap hit.
Yeah,
this
you
year
push
on the
that
contract.
back.
Like,
I mean, he factors in at $53 million a year, which is according to Yahoo, tied for the 7th highest paid player in the NFL. The highest paid is Dak Prescott at 60. The reason why I say he's not worth it is because I don't know that any of these quarterbacks are worth it outside of maybe a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. I don't think like Dak Prescott is not worth $60 million a year. Okay, no. Jordan Love is not worth $55 million a year. Trevor Lawrence is not worth $55 million a year. Tua is not worth $53 million a year. You got look right now. Purdy's being paid more than Lamar Jackson per year. Now that's probably going to change. More than Jalen Hurts per year. It's probably going to change. But Cousins is getting $40 million a year. Not worth it. I mean, he's not even playing. They're looking to trade his ass. So my argument isn't about Purdy specifically. It's just about the market for these quarterbacks, and it's just outrageous. And you go all the way back to when, the Commanders, or I guess back then the Redskins, were paying that franchise tag for Kirk Cousins, and it just wasn't worth it. But that's what you have to pay to keep a quarterback. If they didn't pay him, somebody else would have.
So your biggest thing is just you don't think the money is
the market. Let me jump in real quick.
It's a money thing for you rather than a.
I actually agree with. Yes, I agree with both of you here. I've long said, dating back to my KXNO days, and I'm living it right now with the Vikings, where I would much rather just roll the dice with a JJ McCarthy and pay him whatever and load up the rest of my roster compared to overspending on Sam Darnold.
Chris,
right?
They rolled the dice on the last pick in the draft.
No, hear me out. You're not going to let me finish.
Okay.
What the point Chris is making, which I agree with, is it's the market that set this number, not Purdy's performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where the market is. You're overpaying for all of these guys. It's not just Brock Purdy. None of these quarterbacks outside of three, in my opinion, Jackson, Mahomes, and Allen. In my opinion, the three.
And maybe Purdy's making more than two of those guys per year. Mahomes Brock's is the 13th highest paid quarterback in AAV. Now, they do stuff with the contracts and the cap and all that, but I don't know. If I was Purdy, I would have maybe done a little bit more to help the rest of the team, because Purdy, we know, is a guy that he needs good players around him. He's not going to be able to carry the team
by taking $1 million a year the last 3 years.
They
had to take care of him.
They collectively bargained. That's
who
not
cares? No, I know. But still,
that's how the rules are set up. Every rookie has to do that. That's not just a Brock Purdy didn't be like, hey, just pay me $1 million, guys. That's not how it worked.
I still think he took a pretty fair deal. He could have bargained for way more. I feel like they met in the middle.
I don't disagree with you, and they would have had to pay it.
Well, think of all those goddamn taxes that those California bastards are going to be taking out. I mean, what is it? 53 million a year. He's basically only going to take home $2 million a year.
Yeah.
If he would just move
Gavin Newsom's getting the rest.
I think you both are right.
Can I ask a question to Hassel though?
Mm-hmm.
What's been the biggest detractor? What's the biggest criticism of Purdy in his last 3 years? What would you say as an outsider do you think is the biggest criticism of his game?
It all stems from where he was drafted.
Yes.
All stems from that. But
I'm saying for you,
they will say, for me, I mean, I think he's been surrounded by great talent. And I think he's a top 15 quarterback. I'm not saying he shouldn't have gotten a extension or shouldn't have gotten a big extension. I don't think he's a top 7 quarterback. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think we're going to find out more about him moving forward. Okay. I mean, they don't have the pieces that they did. And some of the pieces are getting older. Like Kittle's, he's getting old.
What pieces? They only lost Deebo Samuel really to the last 3 years.
Deebo Samuel's gone, and he was a huge piece for them a couple of years ago when he was doing anything and everything. Kittle's gotten older. McCaffrey's getting older at running back.
A lot of those old guys are just injury prone too.
Yes, and and that's the thing that we saw last year is the injuries because these guys are getting older. Now he's got a great coach and a great offensive-minded coach. I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff, but is he going to be able to? Pete Prisco says it this way: is he a win with or a win because of? Brock Purdy has been a win with guy. You win with him, you don't win because of him.
Well, didn't he put that to rest when he led them down the field against the Lions in the NFC Championship game to lead them to the Super Bowl? I mean, like, he's done things that people are saying he can't.
Right. No, he really has. But he was surrounded by some of the best talent in the league. I don't know if they're nearly as good as they were in his rookie and second year. It's going to be a big test. Like, he's going to have a chance to prove it, obviously.
For me, if I'm being objective here, I would say he can get better on some of his reads. I mean, he does get kind of lucky on some of those, and he does have skilled players around him that make incredible catches.
There's no player in the history of football that has had the ball touched by a defender and dropped. Dating back to college, even Purdy would do that because he's got that Favre in him, right? Yeah. Where he'll just let go of it, which is what makes him such an exciting player.
In the last couple of years, he's definitely used his legs more. So, okay, well, I'm glad he got paid, and I think it's a pretty fair deal. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you on this point, to be honest. I think everybody's kind of right here, and we'll find out. It's just that quarterback market's gotten so out of control, and that's like with my own personal team. It's like I don't want to pay Darnold whatever it's going to cost to keep him, and then I don't get to have offensive linemen because of it. It's just like, is Darnold really going to be that much better than the next guy that they bring in when you have a really good? Probably not. Now, I think Brock has like this. Knowing him, Brock's got this leadership quality that is lacking by, the majority of quarterbacks in the league. So they're paying for that too,
that's a great point. He's a great teammate, a great leader. He does all the right things on and off the field. Let's just see. Like, is he going to be like? Look at even Jared Goff was able to elevate his team himself, and nobody was really giving him a chance when he went to Detroit. They thought that team was going to suck, and that guy elevated everybody around him. And to me, Purdy is kind of in the I hesitate to say Tua space. I think he's getting paid more than Purdy, but Tua's got more talent around him too. Like they've given him every chance to succeed, and he just hasn't been able to. I want to see it moving forward because they've been one of the most talented teams in the league for many, many years now, and I don't know that they are anymore.
Yeah, I would make a comp would be like compare their offensive talent like at skill positions compared to the Vikings.
Oh my God, yeah,
it's not even in the same hemisphere now. Where you look at it like 2 years ago. So now we'll see the rookie quarterback at Minnesota, basically a rookie. That's a decent little comp right there. We'll see. I think Brock has this ability to he gets guys to believe in him. The team believes in him. There's a reason he was a captain as early as he was in his career, being drafted in the 7th round. And that's a huge reason as to why he got that contract.
And a lot of people forget that he nearly had his arm ripped off against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game and came back to lead them to the Super Bowl. Crazy.
So that's
and now he doesn't have that
triple B.
He doesn't have the I guess I shouldn't say he doesn't have that pressure on him because this contract is going to give him even a different kind of pressure. It was different before though. It was a pressure of I'm not making much money. If I don't perform, I could be out of the league. I might not get this big contract. He's got it now, but so you lose that part of the pressure. Now it's like the pressure of expectations. And yes, Evan, you're right. I'm good because I'm surrounded by great talents like Chris Williams and Matt Van Wilk.
God. Who's your how about Reddit? Who's your triple B?
Oh, yes. I forgot we already launched into that.
We launched into the triple B today. Van Winkle's just had that itchy trigger finger. Who you going with?
Going outside the box a little bit. Have you seen what the All-American rejects are doing?
No, not since the year 2000.
Oh, they're back, baby. And they were in Ames over the weekend.
Really?
The All American Rejects.
Wasn't there. That's his style of music. He likes that stuff.
Oh, it's great. So they went out. What they're doing is they're like kind of barnstorming between their major cities and major concerts in like Minneapolis and Chicago. They are doing these pop-up concerts at houses and, in the case of Ames, a farm. They went to a barn in like an hour or two before they did it. So what they did was, okay, we're going to be in the Ames area on Saturday. You subscribe to our Instagram feed. You will see us tell you, drop the address where this is going to be a couple hours before we're going to do it. So I have a friend, Dan, who went, and he said it was incredible. Just like middle of nowhere, south of Ames, just some random barn, and they filled it up with like 5,000 people.
It was on graduation day too.
Yeah. Oh, good point. I just like that
they're on top of cars,
stuff out of the box like that. Like this is old school stuff.
Like 4,500 people, and they played in this like shed, and apparently you couldn't really see the band. You could hear them pretty well, but
unless you were in the barn. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask if this is legal.
Oh, absolutely.
It must be. They're doing it in a bunch of different states. They've done it in Illinois, and Iowa, and Missouri.
Is it like bring your own?
I don't think they
beer?
served alcohol.
There's got to be people drinking.
It might just be you bring your own. I don't know. But
that's cool.
Yeah, and so they're like last night.
I would have gone.
Last night they were at some like fraternity house in Columbia, Missouri, and they're just doing this every night as they drive around the country. I don't know. I think it's a great idea, and then the kind of the intrigue and where are they going to go next? Where are they going to set up this time? I think it's cool, and the music's great, but you're right. I haven't listened to them in 15 years.
When I saw All American Rejects on your rundown, I was like, did him and Kristen like go to some random show? Are you gonna go to Avril Lavigne and Simple Plan with us next month?
I doubt it, but I do like. I mean, that's right. That's kind of like right up that alley of All American Rejects.
Yeah, you're damn right it is.
So Will brings up that someone OD'd at the All American Rejects, and they actually stopped the show.
This weekend they did?
Yeah, I think they were getting pretty late in the show, but somebody OD'd, and they had the police,
Like OD'd on drugs?
Yeah, I from what I heard, person's all right, but yeah. Celebrate
nonetheless, it's a cool concept.
Yes. Just keep the drugs to a minimum.
Yeah, because there's no way people are just we're just going to be sober going to a barn for an All-American Rejects concert in a college town on graduation night. Come on.
It looked really
on
cool,
nostalgia,
though.
Says Will.
What did you say?
OD'd on nostalgia.
Nostalgia? You son of a bitch. It's nostalgia. Nostalgia. Oh, Fails is going to love that one.
Speaking of Fails, my triple B, I was going to give a shout out to everybody with Matt included and Aiden with Murph and Andy on their little patio tour thing that they're doing on Fridays.
I love this. This is kind of along the lines of what the Rejects are doing.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's OD'd at the Murph and Andy patio show yet.
Telling you, like, it's a lot of work to take video on the road and be live and do everything that we're doing, and we've got audio there for the people who are in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect, but we're doing a pretty damn good job for the resources that we have, and there's just been a lot of work with like Matt and Aiden and Keith and Andy behind the scenes, and Downs, of course, to get this going. So I wanted to give them a little shout out. Matt put together this video from Confluence last week. I believe they're going to be at Wellman's in West Des Moines coming up this Friday if you want to come out and join us.
Yeah, the rooftop.
Yep. So it's a neat deal. This is a thing when before we even announced Keith and Andy were coming over that they've been wanting to do this. Like this was a thing for them. So glad they're getting some good weather, and there's the schedule right there. Wellman's will be at the Guest House Tavern, either or. Founders, they're coming to Bondurant on June 13th. That's going to be wild.
So Founders, is that the place you took me? What was that place you took me around?
Kippy's and Elkhart.
Yeah, that was Kippy's.
Oh yeah, Kippy's Nippies.
Yeah, the different place, but no. Shout out to those guys. Get out and join them on a Friday. They go all the way through June 27th, where they ended up at Big Grove. All right, where do we start today? Do we start with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese?
Oh my God. Maybe. I mean,
to me, that was the sports story of the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be the talker today. It's going to be all over those damn shows.
Well, we need to have a real conversation about this because now the WNBA is investigating the Fever for a fan allegedly, or fans making inappropriate remarks to Reese. This whole deal is like it's been tiptoeing a really ugly conversation for a while. Really ever since the inception of it.
I don't know that it's even been tiptoeing it.
Yeah,
I mean, this has just been ugly.
I just think everybody needs to let it be a rivalry. I don't know, it was like an overt racism undertone there when Barkley and Bird and Magic and I never felt like that. Maybe it was in the 90s, but I don't know. I thought that was a really soft flagrant. I thought that Reese completely overreacted to it. And, and I said that because we commentate on sports. And then I have a mix of people calling me racist and then actual racist comments being responded to on my Facebook. But real racist comments. And I'm like, holy shit. Where did this go?
This is
this thing is it's good for the WNBA to have this rivalry and all this stuff, but man, this teeters on a really ugly thing, and I don't quite. It's really hard to even commentate on it because you run the risk of stepping on yourself, right? It's really hard. I don't even know, how did we get here? This is odd. I don't even know. I just threw a lot at you.
The road started with that Iowa LSU.
Yeah,
championship game, and
you can't see me,
and it's just I have avoided a lot of dialogue about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA because of this, because it just gets so ugly when people react to it, and I give a lot of credit to Keith and Andy. They will talk about this probably a lot more in depth than we will. I just to me, it's not even worth it. I
tend to agree with you.
Now, not worth it. What I mean by that is getting into this the race part of this.
Well, I dove into the 10-foot because we're sports commentators, and this is a big sports story, and we shouldn't have to worry about avoiding giving our opinion.
And you're right about the foul. And those are two different things, the foul and whatever the WNBA is and the Fever are investigating. I don't know about that. What was said, what could have been said. The foul, you're right. It was a basketball play. I mean, that is how you foul somebody who's bigger than you, who's going to have an easy layup if you don't step in and do something. She went at the ball. There was nothing malicious about it. I did not think that Angel's reaction was warranted, but she can do whatever she wants. That's fine, whatever. She can react that way. I thought it was a little bit of a flop. I thought it was, probably not a flagrant, but whatever. They called it.
Yeah.
But what this then evolves into in all these conversations online, it's sickening. And it really has kept me from being a bigger fan, a bigger watcher of the WNBA, because I feel like sometimes it's not even worth
completely
getting into.
With you. Yeah.
Because it just gets nasty. And as you said, it's not all from one side. You'll be called a racist because you're defending Caitlin Clark on that call, and then actual racists will come in and say horrible things in those comments as well.
And then we have these stupid AI things floating around.
Oh my God, the AI things. Yeah, that's.
But I wouldn't even bring it up, and we kind of joke about it, but like thousands of people will share it, and go read the responses to those things. They're horrible. They're horrible. Like it is. I couldn't believe. I texted. I texted Chris and Keith, and I said, "Well, I'm diving into the 10-foot." When I made this post, it wasn't on Twitter. It was mainly on my Facebook page where I got them. And most of my Twitter followers completely agreed. Like, it was totally a soft reaction by Reese, like complete overreaction to that play. Which again, like whatever. I'm glad she did it.
Whatever.
In the time, it was entertaining, and we're watching this be like
It's
all
not
this
an
stuff.
Attack on her character.
No,
if
it was
you
soft.
say it's, yeah.
I'm sorry, it was like it. It was a soft flagrant. If Caitlin was really trying to knock her down, it was soft on her, right? Like, whatever. We say that about men's sports all the time, and now we want to do it, and y'all want to make us in the middle of this like social thing. And like, no, we're commentating on the sports. We're not making a comment on these individuals. And then the worst thing that could happen from all of this, because it was already like completely out of control, is now there was allegedly, I believe, racist stuff yelled at Angel Reese. That is what I believe. That's what they're investigating. So now it like flames everything. And then I'm also like, part of me, like getting real philosophical with you here. Often, like, fans will, we say this in sports, fans will respond the way like their coaches and their team plays. Okay. So like, if you have a coach that's like Iowa State's, I believe Hilton Magic was born, Johnny Orr, whatever. When Eustace was there just cussing out that's when Hilton got mean.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Finley back in his prime when he was just, right, like, and that crowd would, well, now everything surrounding the WNBA is like a social justice like conversation, maybe one that we need to have. Like, but you've got really pissed off racists now who will be like, yeah, I'm standing up for my side. And like, where does it end? You know, like what are we doing? I don't even know where I'm going, but once you get into like when Fox News and MSNBC and like all this,
it's all over.
Like,
it's going to be all over today,
and they're just going to keep throwing gas on the fire.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm not surprised that there has to be an investigation. I guess.
Peter says the greatest Iowa superstar athlete is radioactive to Hassel. Silly. No, it's not Caitlin.
Yeah,
I love Caitlin.
It's the
She's
conversation,
great. And I feel bad for her.
Horrible.
She always gets tied up in this stuff because it's not a reflection of her. It's just this powder keg of all these different things coming together. The WNBA old guard that is jealous of how great she is.
They're gatekeeping.
It's like I saw a podcast the other day, a clip of a podcast, and it was like these 3 WNBA fans, and they were like, how is Caitlin Clark one of the favorites to win MVP? It doesn't make any sense. And one girl said, well, I could see her maybe being like the most improved player in the league this year. Like, if Caitlin Clark is the most improved player in the WNBA this year, she's going to be a unanimous MVP. I just don't. Caitlin is a likable person. I don't understand why everything gets dragged down into the depths of this racial hell.
Did you see LeBron's tweet?
Yeah, he was.
I wonder if LeBron sees a lot of this and is trying to use his influence
because he said he congratulated her or something like that, right?
Yeah, he said
for the triple double.
Oh, yeah, triple dub, CC, great way to kick off the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I think that's kind of what maybe. I guess LeBron is seen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Matt, jump in here too. I'm not trying to put you in a bad spot, but you're way more in touch politically than me and Hassel are. Don't right-wingers think that LeBron is like crazy lefty? Isn't that like a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably in line. Yeah.
I just wonder if
Crazy,
LeBron's
but-
trying to help Caitlyn a little bit with some of this unfair stuff. I don't know. I wasn't even watching the game live. I had
Angel Reese responded to that, by the way.
Oh, really?
To the LeBron.
What did she
post.
say? She was probably she snarky?
She said Michael Jordan never lost a finals, by the way. I don't know.
And
It's
again,
crazy.
like to the Angel Reese people, like I would use that as exhibit A. She's not likable very often. Like she kind of comes across as I got a bad attitude, right? And Barkley was like that. We need people like that in sports. This is great.
I wish she would fully embrace the because she's done. She said she's going to embrace this villain role, and this yes, I'll be the. And then she completely pulls back and says she's not the villain. And why are you making me the villain? Be the villain.
Yeah.
Do
Barkley.
it. We need people
Barkley.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Barkley's one of the most revered sports people of the 90s now that's still relevant. Everybody loves Barkley now.
Shay says the WNBA won't stand up for Caitlyn or the Fever. I do believe that in some ways the league is tiptoeing this line where they've got to be really careful. And so absolutely if there were complaints about anything being said that was inappropriate like that, that's you got to investigate.
No doubt.
I hope to God that wasn't the case.
I guess what I'm saying, though, is, and I don't know what the answer is. I don't know who to blame. I do know who to blame. It's the grifters. But when this rivalry or whatever we're calling it, which it seems quite one-sided to me, but whatever.
Well, it is. Caitlin Clark might be. If she's not the best player in the WNBA, she's top 3 right now.
But when
Angel Reese is not top 10.
When the grifters are constantly using it and politicizing it to their advantage, one way or another, then it incites the crazy people who will go to a game and yell something racist.
Yeah, it does.
So, like, where
I would also
this
argue,
stop?
Williams, that the old WNBA guard believes that all Caitlin Clark and Fever fans are grifters.
Yes, you're right. Like me saying that was a flop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just because you're racist. You don't like the big black girl who gives her opinion. No, that was a soft reaction to a basketball play. That's all it was. It's fine. I'm not coming at her personally.
Mm-hmm.
And Caitlyn has made some dirty plays before. Like, we'll call that out when we see it.
Absolutely. And Brent asks, is there a risk of Caitlin Clark starting to dial back her intensity during games due to this stuff?
I hope not.
I hope not either. And I certainly haven't seen that. Because that's part of what has made her great.
Well, she walked away from the play, right after that.
She did. She made the foul, turned around, walked away. She chirped a little bit, but Angel was like, let's be honest, Angel could kick her ass. She's a lot bigger than her.
Yeah.
You seen Caitlin Clark's guns lately? I don't know.
She has put on a little more muscle, which is good.
I'd like to see not just the WNBA. I don't need the WNBA to do anything because I frankly question a lot of decisions that entity has made over the years, but whatever. I hope what we continue to see is Caitlyn's teammates get some Charles Oakley going here.
Yeah. And I think that they have
give me a little
done
Ron
that with some of the
Artest.
additions that they've made.
Absolutely.
They're clearly
That's what I
a better
want.
team. Like I think there's a good chance the Fever win it all this year. And Caitlin Clark wins MVP. I just wish we could focus on what happened on the court and not be called names when discussing what's happened on the court.
That's really frustrating from where we sit. Is people say, well, treat it like you would any other sport. Treat it like you would the NBA. Okay. And we do. And then you get called a completely derogatory, right? Like it's we can't win. So that's why this show we don't talk about it that much.
Even though we watch. Like I like watching it. I just try to as best I can for my own mental health, my own well-being, stay out of a lot of the social media stuff surrounding it.
I want to thank our friends over at Game Day Men's Health. Bloom was telling me yesterday, because Bloom's on the tee.
I heard this. I was listening to the old podcast that you did last night.
So Bloom's been on the tee now, and he tracks his golf speed, his swing speed. His speed is increased, and he's hitting it 20 yards further.
So now he's driving at 150 instead of 130.
You would be. He's a really good golfer.
No, I know he is, but he
is a stick, man.
He just goes straight down the middle every time.
Bloom is the most unassuming. He walks up and he just crushes the golf ball. He's really good. All thanks to Game Day Men's Health. You can check them out. I go to the one in Ankeny. They got one in West Des Moines. Also over in Eastern Iowa and North Liberty. Freedom Tire, of course, our friends. You are getting to road trip season. Make sure your car, truck, van, whatever, is in tip-top shape. Support our locally owned friends at Freedom Tire. They have locations all over the Des Moines Metro, also one up in Ames. Go to freedomtire.com, and you can learn more about all the great products that they offer. What the hell happened to your Iowa baseball team over the weekend?
I told you I never claimed them, but at least we've got a team. At least we had a team. Now, they fell flat on their asses.
What happened? I honestly don't even know.
It's too bad.
I didn't see anything on social, so I figured all these Iowa baseball fans that come out of the woodworks once every 5 years.
Yeah, they sold out the stadium. It was 4,000 people at the stadium. They sold it out. All they had to do was win one game against Oregon to at least get a share of the Big Ten championship for the first time since 1990, and they lost all 3 games. And it wasn't just that series. They completely fell apart down the stretch. I mean, a total collapse down the stretch. I think they won maybe one of their last 10 games.
Oh, my God. That's hard to do in baseball.
And I feel bad because it kind of, to a much smaller degree, it reminded me a little bit of the Caitlin Clark situation with the women's basketball team and how you get all of these new people on board. And with the Caitlin Clark thing, that was a years-long process. That wasn't just a one-year thing. That was, Caitlin Clark is selling out arenas. Then you go to the championship game. Then you go to the championship game again. Mm-hmm. But this was just a one-year thing. But they started getting crowds that they've never gotten before, a chance to. I mean, you're in the driver's seat to win the Big Ten championship for the last month of the season, and you get all these people in the building for this great series against the number 5 team in the world. And you get pretty much shellacked. I mean, they lost 10-0 the first game. Second game, they were leading and then blew it. And then they got beat by 9 on Saturday. And yeah, they end up, I think they go winless in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, winless in their last 6 games. And some bad losses. They lost to Illinois State. Now that's out of conference, but I don't know. It's just a missed opportunity.
Drop the sport.
Well, that's a serious question.
I swear to God,
I know it's a serious question.
I'm not being a dick.
Because things are changing moving forward. Things have to change in these athletic departments. I don't know.
Very expensive men's sport that because of your geography, it's almost impossible to have real success in.
Yeah. And even this year, they could have won the Big Ten and still might not have made the NCAA tournament.
What's the point? Take that money and put it into football.
Yeah. I don't know. They've got a great coach.
He is a great coach. No doubt about that.
Coach
I mean,
Heller.
how popular is it though? I know it was sold out, but like a normal game in April, or people supporting this? I don't know. I'm not being
I don't think so. Not really. And they can barely play any games in April because it's so damn cold in that area, obviously, of the country. I mean, they start out the season down south. I think the season starts in February. That's why I was never into it as a kid. Even though I was a huge baseball fan, I was never into it because it didn't seem
schedule.
real.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't seem like this was a real Big Ten
It's
sport.
0 degrees and blizzarding outside, and like I'm supposed to focus on Iowa baseball.
They were supposed to play a game against Loras College in Iowa City on February 18th. That was canceled.
That had to be indoors, right? Where they held it, they played at like the football facility. How are you going to play outside in February against? I don't know. I think that's a deeper discussion that I need to learn more about. And we also need to know like what's going to happen with these athletic departments. Where are they going to turn? But that is a question moving forward. Is this baseball team going to survive?
And like, I don't think this will happen at Iowa State. In fact, I know it won't. But there's going to be a lot of these like wrestling programs that are going to get cut.
And there's already very few wrestling programs.
It's a lot of these like borderline niche sports that are expensive, and baseball is much more expensive than wrestling.
Yeah.
Because of all the travel and the equipment and just all of that stuff. Like,
and all the people on the team.
Correct.
I mean, it's not just 10 guys.
Yeah. I was being a dick when I asked, are you going to cut it? But there's kind of some reality to the conversation where does college baseball fit in the new world of college athletics? Because it's not really an NIL type sport. No. Maybe in the South.
Oh, in the South for sure, but not in Iowa. And not in most parts of the Big Ten. So I feel bad. I feel bad for them because it was right there. That would have been awesome for the program and for the fan. Like because there are some fans that have been following this for a long time.
Absolutely.
You sell that place out and you're ready to go nuts, and man, you just get your ass handed to you, which kind of makes sense. Oregon's number 5 in the country. How the hell were they even ahead of them in the standings all year anyway? Iowa's just not at that level.
Let's go to this NIL law in Tennessee. You sent this to us the other night. And this, I'll let you explain the law, Chris, but I'll underline it with this is what we've been talking about, where Iowa as a state needs to get its shit together because this is not a fair fight.
No. And it also goes to what I've been saying, and I think you've started to come on board with a little bit, that this is not going to be capped at $20 million.
I agree. You are correct.
They're still going to shake fans down for money. And if Iowa's not going to do that, Iowa's going to fall way behind. So basically, the law in theory will allow Tennessee to pay players as much as they want, on top of the $20 million that they can pay them through the athletic department. But it's also going to allow the NIL portion, the fans, the businesses, to not have to go through this clearinghouse. Now, what I believe has to happen here is this can't go into effect immediately. But this will be right there waiting at the starting line to go into effect as soon as this new settlement comes under fire by litigation. As soon as someone tries to fight back and say it's not fair that you're putting a cap on what players can make, and you can say, well, you can have this NIL, but you can't have this NIL, and it goes into a court, boom, they're ready to put this into place and not have to adhere to that clearinghouse and the name, image, and likeness contract. So, which is going to happen. Like, the settlement's going to happen, and then people are going to start suing.
Now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if Trump does his thing, does that nix this?
Well, it depends on what that thing is.
Yeah, okay.
It just totally depends. the House settlement's supposed to. I'm reading off of a KnoxvilleNews.com. The House settlement is supposed to fix college sports by approving new NCAA rules on revenue sharing, roster limits, and NIL pay. Tennessee universities plan to follow that plan. But as soon as the rules are vulnerable to lawsuits, count on all those schools in state to pull out and push the blame back on the NCAA. The article also says about a dozen other states have enacted similar laws, but Tennessee's laws are the strongest. And this is likely going to get us further and faster into college sports becoming professional sports. Many college administrators believe athletes will eventually unionize and bargain collectively for their compensation structure and player movement between schools. But that step requires other systems to fail because of legal challenges. This new Tennessee law would accelerate that process.
Now, my question would be, would Trump's presidential thingamajig, most redneck way to say it ever, is he going to fight? Is he going to fight that the ability for unionization to occur?
I don't know. I don't know what Trump wants at this point, other than there to be guardrails.
Well, and the most effective way to keep these guardrails or to create them is to basically not give the players a seat at the table. But then, like, inevitably, there's going to be lawsuits because of what the Supreme Court has already told us with all this stuff is that you can't cap their compensation.
Right.
Unless it comes from the top and there's a locked-in law and it basically says we're not going to let this industry evolve the way that it's naturally going right now. And Trump will come in and be like, I am the savior of college athletics. Is what politically that's the way this would go if it happens. This is fascinating, but this was going to be my going long that we've been trying to tell you. Like, you cannot, the biggest mistake, and I hear this 10 times a day, people I talk to, reading social media, the biggest mistake that we have in our state, from leaders in our state, from just fans, boosters, whatever, media, is that we still try and treat this like, that Big 8 in Kemper Arena, the Big 8, that was a hell of a time. Remember when the Hayden Fry Iowa Hawkeyes, boy, that team had some grit. No, it's different. This is our professional sports, and we need to invest in them, or we're going to lose their relevancy. And good luck getting it back once that happens.
Yeah.
You got states across the country that are proactively trying to rig the system for when it switches. This is why Tennessee got back to where it was, because they were doing the NIL thing, the collective thing, before collectives were even a thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then our state just, la-di-da. It's just like, it drives me nuts. But like, we're in a very, very rural state, right? Like I would argue that it's more important to us than it is any of them. Like the state of Tennessee, you have Nashville, right?
True.
Like
Memphis,
you have pro sports, you have Memphis. We have nothing outside of our institutions as far as the entertainment thing goes, right? With the sports, Des Moines it's a minor league sports town.
Mm-hmm.
We have one professional NASCAR race and an IndyCar race, but that doesn't move the needle.
All right, Peter wants to know, what exactly is the doomsday worst-case scenario if the Iowa State House doesn't get involved? Spell this out.
That the worst case is that, you fall so far behind, and then the Super League thing
You're left out of the Super League.
Iowa and Iowa State are both completely out of it because they've proven that they can't perform at a top level economically, and they can't because of population stuff. Like Nebraska's different. They're on their own over there. They've got all that financial money in Omaha, Like, they got all this stuff. Like in Nebraska, they have the national championships. We don't have that. So then, like, you're going to have 3 UNIs is what it could be down the road. Not just Iowa State here. Like, Iowa, if that Super League thing broke out right now, they would be on the bubble. I think you would get in.
If it was right now, I think they get in.
I think you would get in.
But this isn't happening right now.
No. This would be 10 years down the road, and if all of a sudden, you know, Ferentz is in the twilight of his career, and let's say Iowa you're a 6-6, you're back to the Hayden Fry years, right? Where you're like, hey, we're going to a decent bowl game, like, which is possible. You look at their schedule going forward. Your league's more difficult now. It's not as even of competition as it used to be because of the money thing. Like, that is what you worry about.
And for me, that's, if I'm not going to go doomsday worst case, I'll go, if the state doesn't get involved and help out a little bit, these other states are going to have so much more money, and you're just not going to be nearly as competitive. Now, it sucks, because what this would mean is you still have to pay. You still have to help pay these players. Like, I wish this wasn't the case. I wish no state was doing this. I wish it would just be capped and the schools pay all the money. I hate the idea that fans are still going to be asked to pay these players money when they're going to be making a lot of it. So where you might have to, okay, this guy's getting $2 million, we really need to pay him $3 million. And then, that guy over there, you know, he's getting $4 million, but he really needs $8 million. So we need more from you. I wish we could get to a point where only the universities are paying the players. Universities and real name, image, likeness. Real. Mm-hmm. From local businesses. Mm-hmm. Nothing from the fans. The
they
fans
don't
give
want
enough.
that, though. 'Cause the reality of that is there's not that many players in our state that provide real name, image, and likeness value.
I understand.
Yeah, that's what they don't want you. They're not going to want to say that. It's just not. Like, there's not a lot of football players from Iowa or Iowa State. They wear face masks, right? Like, they're just there's not a lot of offensive linemen that would walk into a restaurant and you're like, oh, that's Brandon Scherf.
Right.
Right? Like, we knew who he was. Like, that doesn't happen very often. Kelechi Osemele, I recognize him. I mean, those are extreme cases. Audie Crooks is maybe the most NIL savvy is she the most valuable person in Iowa right now in college athletics? Maybe, honestly. Like,
boy, that's a good question.
Maybe Rocco.
Maybe
Beck.
Rocco.
Because he's been there for a while. Taman Lipsey would probably local kid.
And I'm trying to think of somebody from Iowa, but I don't know. Recognizable.
That's what I'm saying. The true NIL thing is difficult. So you've got to set it up where it's like it is pay for play, and we're okay with paying them. They're giving us a service, but you're completely throwing an industry that's been around for, you know, this amateurism thing. It's completely getting tossed upside down. And these leaders don't know what to do with it. And then our people, yeah, you go ahead. I'll just keep saying.
He has
the same
another
thing
question
I get
about
so mad.
How does this look? By the state helping out, are you referring to taxing the sports books at a higher rate and part of the money goes to the universities? I would say yes. That should be part of it.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be more. I mean, it has to be more, obviously. But that's part of it. You know what else it is? It's selling alcohol at the goddamn Jack Trice Stadium and Hilton Coliseum, which maybe it'll happen now that Wendy Winterstein is leaving.
And you have to give the universities the ability to fund athletics, right? That was a big thing in like 2005 where they need to be self-sufficient. And I understood it then, but times have changed. Mm-hmm. Like take Iowa and Iowa State football out of the equation. That's not good for your enrollment, folks. It's not good for your local economy. It's not good for anything. You got to give them the ability to, and this other thing that just pisses me off. Well, that funding from sports books goes to special ed teachers. Well, we can still support special ed teachers. It doesn't have to.
Yeah, how are we supporting them before legalized sports betting?
It's okay. Like, fine, double the tax on sports betting. Give half of it to the special ed teachers. They don't get cut. Like, it doesn't have to be if you take it from the special ed teachers, then, like, no. That's not what anybody is saying.
By the way, just to clarify, we had that wrong last Thursday when that whole thing went down. When the session closed, that increase to 9% wasn't part of the. They didn't increase the tax on casinos in Iowa to 9% to go towards the special education.
How did you
funds.
fuck that up so bad?
Well, somebody was commenting about it, and I
blind trust our commenters.
Yeah, I can't trust these commenters.
Yeah, Van Whoop gets all his information off Wikipedia.
Guys.
According to Wikipedia, they have now they got to do something though. Like, come on.
Yeah, next session I would look for something.
Up the tax. This is not a tax on you. This is a tax on the sports books.
That's a good place to start. I would also venture to believe that you would not get that much pushback if you put a $99 tax on, not taxes, probably not fee, university fee. These tuition's already out of control. We're going to tack on another $99, and it goes towards keeping athletics relevant. I don't think that would be a big deal.
I saw a huge article.
It wouldn't even be that much. But
over the weekend that spelled out how much of each university's tuition goes to the athletic department, and you'd be surprised. Like there is already a charge at Iowa State and at Iowa that goes directly to athletics. But here's the interesting thing about that. Places like Iowa and Iowa State and Ohio State and Texas are charging the student far less for athletics than they are at places like Middle Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm. That's how they keep those programs going.
And App State. Yeah, it's crazy how much your tuition at these smaller FBS schools in the group of 5, how much more they will charge the student in tuition fees than they do at Iowa and Iowa State. Because I think at Iowa and Iowa State and those kind of places, it's somewhere between like $100 and $500 a year that goes to athletics.
Double it.
Well, Pollard was on that podcast saying that Virginia Tech just upped it. And he was saying that Iowa State's not going to do that.
You can't keep taking a butter knife to a gunfight and expecting to compete. Like, at some point, our state has to, like, jump in and be like, we either want to do this or we don't. Like, and we're not to that point yet. But I'm looking 5 years down the road here, and it doesn't look great. There will be change.
Travis says it's around $500. He believes that Iowa State students are subsidizing athletics per year. So it's already happening. It's just
I want to go long on something. About to go long.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Did you hear that whole thing, or did I? Was my internet skipping there?
What?
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
What are you talking? What?
I didn't hear the Wealth Charter thing.
I did.
Okay. Well, we got it twice. Shout out to our friends over.
Now can we charge Wealth Charter twice? And I'll give that second chunk of money to Bloom for the We Will.
I want to go long on the rest of the NBA playoffs. Wow. I mean, I like this. 4 non-super teams, right? At these, like, cool places that are going to be grateful to be hosting these games. OKC in Minnesota, right? They're going to be, those arenas are going to be on fire. Like, OKC is like a college town, basically. Minnesota is one of the great tortured franchises in all of sports. They've got this electric player. And then you've got in the East, Tyrese Halliburton, who is, on fire right now, up against the Knicks, Spike Lee, Madison Square Garden. Knicks, another tortured franchise that everybody is excited. You said it very well last week in your Triple B when you said, or you went long on them, one of the two. that the NBA is better when the Knicks are relevant. Well, not like Halliburton's going to relish this. The only thing better would be if his dad was courtside with Spike Lee.
That's
God,
we're going to miss that. That's right.
And I haven't watched much. I mean, I'll watch Tyrese highlights and like I really haven't watched much. I'm going to be watching these games. Like I'm not kidding, and I know you don't get this. I'll have in May a Braves game on over the NBA playoffs anymore. That's just how my brain works anymore. The NBA is not part of my life. I will make it a point to have these games on. I think this is a great Final Four in the NBA. I'm going long on the rest of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, it's kind of a breath of fresh air. We'll see if it holds up. Like, is it going to be as interesting as it looks like it could be? I don't think the network is going to like it that much, other than the Knicks.
Not great media markets.
Knicks will be great.
New York. Yeah.
The other ones not so much. I mean, if they get a Pacers T-Wolves final, and I don't think it's going to be that. I think I'm worried Oklahoma City is going to have their way with Minnesota. I hope that's not the case. I would love to see the Timberwolves finally break through. But you're right. We so many years it just seemed like these super teams were dominating everything. And if it wasn't the teams that were manufactured, it was the Warriors. And even those two of their championship years, it was with Durant, who joined up to get his rings. I think it's great for Oklahoma City. I mean, Durant left. Remember that? I mean, it basically ruined them. They were terrible. So I'm with you. I usually don't tune into a game unless it's late and it's still close. And so I never get to watch Game 7s because they're always terrible. Even the NHL Game 7 yesterday sucked.
I just need people to tell me these games are on.
What do you mean?
Like, it's not in my...
If you watch CBS Sports HQ, we'll tell you when they're on.
I just don't... It's not a part of my life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy them. Like, usually when I turn them on, like at this time of year, it's just like what I know. Like on a night in May, I'm gonna like to just turn a Braves game on. I enjoy it, but I don't think like, I wonder what NBA playoff game is on or what NHL playoff game is on. But I think I'll do that. I think my mind will shift to watch these four teams.
I didn't watch a second of that NBA game yesterday because I was watching the golf. Got interesting for a short period of time when Scheffler was struggling. I think Rahm tied him for the lead, but then then Scheffler pulls away, and there's just something weird about Scheffler that I can't. It doesn't excite me. It's like he's too nice. He's too boring. I like guys. I'd be way more interested if that was DeChambeau or Koepka or Rory. And those guys are a lot more flawed than Scheffler. And yeah, Michael, you're right. He did get arrested last year. But
you see after his round, he brought his kid into the clubhouse to finish his scorecard and threw her on the floor and gave her a hat to play with.
Just wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not a bad thing said about him ever. But
broke the
I don't
trophy.
know. It doesn't. It's not like when Tiger was running away with tournaments, and that you'd still watch that. I tuned out when he got a 3-stroke lead there with 3 holes to go. That was it. I didn't need to see the rest of it.
Final shout out to our friends at Kaburski, the Kaburski lawns out there finally getting some rain. Thank God. We needed rain in the worst way. We had drought conditions going on here. Remember that. Not too late. They can come out, spray your yards, do all that good stuff, the Kaburskis. And then, Matt, the intro that the commercial you played for the Kings of that is electric.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom,
boom.
Are we going to this?
Hell yeah, I'll be front row.
It's not the rejects. It's not the All-American rejects.
I'll be front row at this.
Did you know I was huge DJ Quick fan back in the day. I had a DJ Quick album. Oh,
now, what does he sing?
I don't even know, man. It was 25 years ago. Like
DJ Quick.
Hassel, do you know what hyphy is?
Is that some kind of drug?
The hyphy movement of the Bay Area.
Is that a drug?
No.
Like smoking hyphy?
It's like when E40.
It's when you take a shit on somebody's chest.
What? Where the hell did that come from?
It's what Brock Purdy was when he signed the contract.
So what is it?
It just means like going crazy. Go stupid. Go dumb.
We're going to get all hyphy at this event?
Stupid shit out in the Bay Area.
Can you explain to me I've always loved Bone Thugs and Harmony, but they're Cleveland guys.
Yeah, they're not West Coast. I don't know.
Yeah, like how do they get in this West Coast?
Well, Kings of the West.
They needed a headliner.
I say like because they are all my Cleveland buddies. A lot of guys on that Campbell staff. They love Bone Thugs and Harmony. They'll be at this.
They were signed by a West Coast.
Yeah. Well, but then
label,
they did that album with Biggie.
Yeah.
That had to be controversial back in the day.
I'm excited for Too Short.
It's boning Biggie. It's boning Biggie.
What's my favorite word? What's Too Short's favorite word, Hassel?
Short.
Biatch.
You can't say that. Van Woke's going to be in the front row singing along to these songs. Somebody's going to videotape him.
Everybody
he's going to get his ass
choices.
canceled.
We got to get E40 wearing his Brock Purdy jersey on stage.
Oh.
He reps Purdy all the time.
Does he wear it backwards? Is that still a thing? That's what the crisscross kids did. Yeah.
Remember when Tim McGraw came out with the Caitlin Clark like kid-sized jersey on stage? It's like his nipples were like poking through.
There we go.
Tim McGraw needs to eat a damn slice of pizza. I mean, come on.
There we go. E40.
Oh, that's him?
E40 repping the
I
Purdy.
guarantee he wears a Purdy jersey for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a big miss if he didn't.
I'll slide in his DMs, make sure.
What about a Kittle? I mean, you got to rep Kittle too.
Maybe Too Short could wear the Kittle.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay, well, there you go. Great show today. I've got to get off of this State House thing. It just raises my blood pressure.
I feel like we're talking about this every show.
Well, there's always something.
Yeah,
like that.
And there's not a lot going on right now. It's off season, so. And this is going to decide the entire future of these sports.
It's kind of
that
the
we care about the
of
most.
What we do. Yeah, like it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Keep an eye on this Iowa State presidency thing. It's a really big deal. What route do they go?
Is Stephen Leith? Is he still available? What's he doing now?
I don't think so. I think the old airplane thing made him disqualified.
I think he was spotted back in Ames recently. I saw somebody spot him at a restaurant in Ames a week or so ago. Maybe he's back.
Nobody tell Cyclone Larry.
Maddie Van Winkle is the producer. Chris Hassel, thank you so much. Appreciate you. We will be back on.
Travis says if America can go back to Trump, ISU can go back to Leith.
Not bad, actually.
Pretty
All right, Murph and Andy today at 1. Of course, we have Overthinking today at 12 here on Iowa Everywhere.